Canada says it's now dropping its digital services tax on American tech companies days after President Trump says he's halting all trade talks with Canada. First, what's the president's reaction to this? Can you tell us more about his call with Prime Minister Carney over the weekend? How did he get Carney to drop it? And also, what's the impact on American tech companies given this latest progress, as the president says he has been fighting for American tech companies?
It's very simple. Prime Minister Carney in Canada caved to President Trump in the United States of America. And President Trump knows how to negotiate, and he knows that he is governing the best country and the best economy in this world, on this planet. And every country on the planet needs to have good trade relationships with the United States. And it was a mistake for Canada to vow to implement that tax. That would have hurt our tech companies here in the United States. The president made his position quite clear to the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister called the president last night to let the president know that he would be dropping that tax, which is a big victory for our tech companies and our American workers.
Hi beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm called Irene Soita. Thank you for clicking. You are in the right place right now, guys. Today we're gonna be reacting on videos of Canadian people reacting on Mark Carney on dropping the implementation of the digital tax with American after the tweet that Trump made. So people are reacting, and they're reacting in different perspective. Everyone has their own opinion. They think that the Prime Minister is unable to bring Canada to control Canada on its own without depending on the United States of America. And there are those who think that being under US or American, the United States of America is going to take the Canada as a country to another place, you understand? So we are just going to be seeing the videos of the people reacting about the decision that their Prime Minister of Canada made. And I just want you to tell me what you think about the decisions down there below in the comment section. So I'm called Irene Soita. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and let me know what your opinions are, and put on the notification button so that you get notified wherever I post a video.
Surrender to Donald Trump on the digital services tax. This actually means that American companies would have paid a little bit of tax for the billions of dollars of profits that they get from Canada. But there's more. The Carney government has also been subsidizing these American web giants to the tune of over $1 billion a year in indirect advertising supports. That means that we pay twice for these companies that have been taking massive profits out of Canada. We need a government and a parliament that will stand up for Canada. Tomorrow's Canada Day. We need a government that is elbows up, that will stand up to Donald Trump and stand up for Canada.
Liberals, breaking news. Donald Trump announces that the United States will be terminating all discussions on trade with Canada, effective immediately, due to the Liberals' digital service tax, and that tariffs will begin being enforced within 7 days. Seriously, what is that? Honestly, wasn't Mark Carney supposed to be the man, the expert negotiator, the Trump whisperer? Instead, he just lied, and he's a WEF puppet. I'm not going to go over everything, but Trump made a nice tweet about it. Good job and elbows up, Team Canada. You messed this one.
So guys, the people of Canada are very, very agitated at their Prime Minister right now, because what they were expecting has not come, has not been processed. You understand? So these people expected that the Prime Minister will sit down with his people and at least shake the government of Trump's administration. But now, what have they gotten into? He dissolved everything, and he said I think he's right, because there's no way Canada is going to start a trading war with the United States of America. And I think Canada cannot leverage the United States of America on its own. So it needs the United States of America, if you check it in a different perspective, because even California itself, its GDP is higher than the Canadians, than that GDP of Canada. You understand? So it cannot even Canada is not in the level of the United States of America. So introducing that digital service tax, I think it's going to be fair on. And we all know that the companies, United States of America companies that are in Canada that doesn't pay taxes, you understand? So for people of Canada to come out here and feel like Mark Carney has let them down, it's just that he's in fear of most people, of the people of Canadian losing, becoming unemployment. You understand? Every country is trying to play that game because we don't want to have a lot of unemployed people in our countries. You understand? I think that's the reason. If you think about a trading market, how the market is going, and when you think about how American market has been destabilized since the tariffs were put in place, you'll be worried. You'll be worried about your own country, and will do anything to protect your country. And I think that's what the PM is doing. If you think outside the box, you'll understand why he has bowed down. You understand? Let's keep on watching and let me know what you think down there in the comment section.
Just 2 days after I made my post about Canada implementing the digital service tax on America and how that wasn't going to end well. Well, sure enough, it didn't. All it took was America to send a tweet out saying they weren't going to negotiate with us anymore. And just like that, hours before this tax was supposed to be implemented, Mark Carney and the Liberal government took it back off. My issue with that, not only has this tax been 4 years in the making, so technically that's a huge waste of money and resources, but although I didn't agree with the tax in the first place, people elected Mark Carney to stand up to Trump and America, right? So he went in there, elbows up. Now I'm saying I did not agree with this digital service tax, but he went in there all strong and cocky, elbows up, and then 2 days later backed down for no other reason besides the fact that Trump sent out one tweet. That's all it took for Mark Carney to put his elbows down.
So there's a whole load of people upset at Mark Carney because Donald Trump decided to end trade negotiations with Canada because Canada is applying a digital services tax. And just so that you understand what that is, big tech companies are making billions in dollars from you. They're effectively the landlords and they rent you out. They're selling all of your data, and every time your eyeballs. So there's a whole load of people upset at Mark Carney because Donald Trump decided to end trade negotiations with Canada because Canada is applying a digital services tax. And just so that you understand what that is, big tech companies are making billions in dollars from you. They're effectively the landlords and they rent you out. They're selling all of your data, and every time your eyeball scans an advertisement, they're selling that to companies and making profits from you. And it's not unreasonable that Canada would apply a tax and say, hey, we should be in this game and we should have some of that money because after all, you're selling Canadians data, and it's an effort to try and protect not only Canadians' data but to try and ensure that we get some of those profits back in this country. And it's actually really not unreasonable that Canada should be able to set its own sovereign tax laws, but the United States doesn't like that. But the people who are upset at Mark Carney for trying to protect Canadians and bring money back into this country are the same people who'd be happy if the United States was our landlord and we were just renting this land. That's what they'd like us to be. They want us to be tenants in this country and the United States and Donald Trump to be our landlord. They can piss off as far as I'm concerned, because these people, they actually really don't care about Canada.
5 months ago, Donald Trump announced tariffs on Canada. Mark Carney said, put your elbows up and vote for him because he's the best guy to go against Donald Trump. Since then, the tariffs have gone up. Negotiations have stopped. Trump said next week he's going to be telling Canada what the new tariffs are going to be and the cost of doing business with America. But yet, the UK tariffs, they were announced well after Canada's on April 2nd. How did the UK manage to secure a deal with the US in under 5 weeks, where it's taken us 5 months and we are now worse off? Send this video to a Liberal supporter who thinks that Mark Carney is actually doing a good job. He's not. The digital service tax will actually tax Canadians. I truly believe it is the utmost example of government theft because they are backdating that tax into 2022. They're trying to extract $2 billion from these companies to ultimately prop up the government's failures in funding CBC in the tune of over $1 billion every single year. That digital service tax, it's going to completely mess up the tech landscape in Canada while making our everyday lives more expensive. DST, it's not a tax on just American companies. It's a tax on Canadians.
Hey beautiful people, I hope you've been watching this video. I'm Kodere Soita. So the Prime Minister of Canada was expected to have a talk with Donald Trump of the United States of America, but he had to call off. Now there's this what we call digital service tax that has made people of Canada to go on a rampart or to get berserk, because they believe that the digital service tax is going to be taxing the people of America, of Canada, and to leave alone the tech companies of American tech companies that don't pay taxes. Guys, we believe that we believe that America is the best country with the best economy in the world. You understand? So the Prime Minister of Canada, Prime Minister Carney, had to call off the talks, and he had to bow down to Donald Trump because Canada cannot leverage on its own. Canada needs United States of America to be where it has to be right now, and Canada cannot, Canada cannot fix its economy without the United States of America. We all know that the trade war between the US and Canada wouldn't bring no fruits, because it means that Canada will collapse. And we all know that Canada is 2.3 trillion GPD when it's almost a half of California GOP. So guys, I don't know what you think about this situation, because it has made people of Canada reacting to calling inferior, calling their prime minister inferior. But when you get into, or you dig into deeper perspective, you'll know that he could be right, because he just don't want to start trade war with the United States of America.